everybody, welcome back to Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. Today I'll be doing a review for the Powertec Flat Incline Decline Workbench. Stay tuned. This is my fourth Powertec Flat Incline Decline Bench. I started off with one of the old gray ones well over 10 years ago, and then I've had 3 of these since Powertec had switched over to black. One of the things that makes this bench so remarkable is that it can accept so many different attachments. The only bench that is as versatile as this one is the Iron Master. Here is the 2020 Powertec Workbench. It's a bench in a box, and it's part of a really big order that I placed with Powertec to include most of the attachments for the workbench. All of these arrived in really good condition, except for the preacher. It looks like a wild animal might have been trying to get into that preacher curl box. Powertec continues to impress me with their packing jobs. Everything looks to be in great condition. Here is the workbench with everything out of the box. Everything is in excellent condition. Here is the touch-up paint that Powertec includes. The hardware pack is in great condition. These are the handles that go under the bench. You don't have to bolt these on if you don't want to. I did see one review where someone was complaining that those handles got in the way when they were trying to do different movements. Well, if you're going to use this workbench for a leg extension station, then I would recommend including those handles. If you're just going to use it for benching and pressing, I wouldn't include them. The back pad is the exact same pad that's on the leg press. Powertec breaks the assembly into 2 pages. Let's see how long this takes. I'm pretty happy with the 15-minute assembly time. It was very easy to put together. Here is the finished product. I think it looks really great. I like for all of my equipment to be black, so this fits the motif, if you will, in my gym. As I mentioned earlier, you don't need to use those 2 bolts unless you leave those handles off. With those handles on there, you use 2 longer bolts. With those handles off, you would use those 2 shorter bolts. The Workbench is Powertec's flagship bench, which sells for $430, shipping included. It's about $100 cheaper than Rep Zero Gap Adjustable Bench and Rogue's 2.0 Adjustable Bench. Powertec also sells the Streamline Utility Bench, which doesn't accept attachments, for $350. At the time of this recording, it's actually on sale for $300. Here is the Workbench accessory or attachment storage rack. If you're only going to get one of these attachments, you probably don't need this, but if you're going to get 2 or more of the attachments for the workbench, I would recommend getting this storage rack. Here is how the storage rack comes packed. It's a total of 3 pieces that will get bolted together. If you're going to get the attachment storage rack, you've got to have some room. It takes up almost 3/5 of the stall mat, and then once you put the attachments on there, it'll take up just about an entire stall mat. Of course, you could just put all of the attachments on the floor, but it's not as organized and it doesn't look nearly as good as having them in that storage rack. Here are 4 attachments in the attachment storage rack: the preacher curl, the dip attachment, the leg extension leg curl, and the pec fly. This does take up quite a bit of space. It's a stall mat easily, but it would take up a lot more space to have a designated preacher curl, a designated dip machine, pec fly, and leg extension leg curl. And it's a whole lot cheaper than having those 4 different machines. I had these same 4 attachments in my last garage gym, and I had them for well over a year, so I know that they hold up well. Unfortunately, when I moved from this house, I sold all of these pieces to make the move easier, but I like the pieces enough to get them a second time. I won't be getting the leg press attachment because I already have the Powertec leg press, the Powertec compact leg sled, as well as the Rogue Rhino. But if you do choose to get the Powertec leg press attachment, it is a piece that I would recommend basically keeping on the workbench because it is difficult to get on and off. I don't need to get the lat pull down attachment either because I use my high-low pulley on the lever gym. Over the next few weeks, I will do a review for each one of these attachments, so please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the notification bell. So one of the worst things about getting all this equipment is having to take all this stuff to a dump. So I'm going to show you what I've been doing with all this stuff lately. I've just been throwing it up in the bushes. I'm just kidding. I didn't throw anything in the bushes. Got it all in the back of the truck. Gonna take it to the dump in the morning. I'm going to keep the Powertec Workbench connected to the Smith machine because I like this exercise so much. And with a quick adjustment, the decline Smith press feels equally as effective. My other bench won't fully incline, so it's nice that I have this one that does. The Powertec Workbench is highly adjustable. The seat has 4 different adjustment points. The bench has 9 different adjustment points if you want to move the bench horizontally. And the back pad has 9 different adjustment points if you want to go from everything from upright to flat to decline. So why is it important that the bench has a horizontal adjustment? If I'm connected into the utility bench connector, I can't perform my incline press. However, now with the bench moved back, with my last Powertec Workbench, I used a silver Sharpie to number all of the settings on the bench, just so that when I write the exercise in the logbook, I know what the bench settings are the next time I do the exercise. The bench has a weight capacity of 600 pounds, and the shipping weight is 91 pounds, so the bench probably weighs about 80 pounds total. The pads are textured, which helps add some grip when you're doing different movements. The padding is pretty dense, so it's not the most comfortable bench. One design flaw is if you have your back pad in almost the upright position, it will cause the seat pad to wrinkle a little bit. As I mentioned in my review for the Smith machine, you can get a utility bench connector so you can connect the flat incline decline bench directly to the Smith machine, which adds some stability. Also, if you're using your attachments, like your dip attachment, your leg press attachment, if you have your bench locked into that utility connector, it will add extra stability to the bench so the bench won't wobble on you. The lever gem has that same utility bench connector, so if you wanted to connect your flat incline decline bench to the lever gem, that will help with added stability. There are wheels on the frame of the bench to make transporting the bench a little bit easier because it is a pretty heavy bench at around 80 pounds. And you can prop this bench up, although I wouldn't have any small children or anything sitting underneath of it because I don't think it's necessarily meant to stand up like this, and just a little bit of force or pressure will cause it to tip back down. And just to give you a look at the underside of the bench, since I do have the bench tipped up like this, you have these anti-slip feet. In future editions of this bench, I would like for Powertec to go with a rectangular pad. This pad has the curves, which makes some exercises difficult. So for example, if I wanted to lay across the bench and do a dumbbell pullover, the bench would make that feel awkward. Similarly, if I wanted to do bench dips, that would be a little awkward because of the shape of the bench. So here is my favorite bench, and I have no idea what the name of this bench is. It's just really old. It's probably every bit of 30 years old, but it's by far my favorite bench, largely because of that rectangular pad and because the pads offer a little more cushion than the Powertec pads. This knob can be a little difficult to work with when you're trying to put the attachments in. So if it would stay out instead of automatically retracting back in, it would make it easier to get the attachments in and out. These twist knobs can be a little bit of a pain because you gotta twist and then you gotta pull. So I would prefer for them to be just like a quick release pin. This really is a good bench, and one of the reasons it's such a good bench is because it can accept so many different attachments. So you have your lat pull down, your leg press, your dip, your preacher, your leg extension, leg curl, and your pec fly. No other bench can do what this one does, Also, this is my fourth one, so I know that it holds up well over time. If you didn't need all of the different attachments that this bench offers and you just wanted a bench for bench press and dumbbell press, then this may not be the best bench for you. You may want to go with one of the other brands like Rogue or Rep Fitness. Thanks for watching, everyone. I am on Instagram under Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. Also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. I'm trying to hit that 1,000 mark and I'm getting close at over 800. So if you aren't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. I will have more reviews coming for all of the attachments for the workbench, so stay tuned for those over the coming weeks. Thanks, everyone.